Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again.
We'll never be With anime in our souls and thoughts of wrestling out of control, we are a group of weebs who love the entertainment of professional wrestling. So allow us to be the voices inside of your head as we go through the wrestling events of the evening, give our thoughts and predictions on what's to come, and provide an experience inclusive to all of you nerds out there. So grab your steel chairs, yell for the tables, and get put through an experience unlike any other. Brought to you, of course, by Animal We Studio. This is the Weebs of the Ring podcast. Happy Saturday to all you lovely people out there. Hopefully you had a good day today. I had a day filled with lots of sports entertainment. Weather was good, bad, mediocre at best. Well, we're going to talk about the one thing that was mediocre at best for sure. But yeah, it's been a big day filled with wonderful surprises, lovely ads, and Wrestlepalooza finally on the ESPN network. And if you don't know how to get onto the ESPN network, well, we'll give you the right good old tips to do all that, because we had a grand old time as a group together trying to watch this pay-per-view event. But of course, as always, if you are one of our returning listeners or viewers, welcome as always. Hopefully you guys are having a good time out there. And if you're new around these parts, hopefully, again, you're having a good time. Grab your seat and get ready for the show. Who are we, though? Like, you see these three random guys, or you're about to hear these three random guys just talking nonsense about the world of sports entertainment. Well, quick introductions for all of you newbies out there. I, of course, am one of the most decorated podcasters in all of sports and entertainment. Your reigning, defending, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world in his heel mode tonight, because forget all this stuff that we saw tonight. Well, not all of it, though, but that's right. I am your world champion, Watkins here, and I'm going to be your guide through the wrestling event tonight. Two lovely gentlemen to join me in this endeavor. First, on my right shoulder, he is known as a visionary. He's known as a revolutionary. He is a lady husband as well.
Intro who he is, because supposedly I'm a Goldberg fan, and that's totally not the case. Because if you guys want to know, is your legendary humanoid typhoon, your Latino if you believe in the Latino love, if you believe in La Primera, if you believe in the devil inside you, and Lightweight Bear said that you want to kiss the devil, that you be questioning very much, you believe, and your prediction came true. I was right. The vision was there. I believe in my guts, and I believe, and I was told Whitefield, like, yo, I believe in her. And I said it, I tweeted, and I wish it. And guess what, chat? It happened. Welcome to Weebs of the Ring. And I'm just glad to say, Vash be right. Some predictions that he be wilding a couple times a year, but he be right.
Look, there's only one person I believe in.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
God, I hope that came through. Chat, let me know if that came through on the feed. But yeah, of course, to help us process some of these stories going forward, especially some of these rough stories that are happening in the realm of WWE, he is known around these parts as the genius of the mat. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Drop This Box. Drop, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, definitely I would have to agree with you. There is some things to talk about with this show. I mean, when it comes to a few matches in itself, I wasn't expecting much out of a couple of them. I would probably have to say when it comes to the first two matches and also probably our main event tonight, I think that one more. I was expecting a little much just because of how it was placed. But there was probably a few things here, and one match that really stood out to me that really made this PLE worth talking about, if I'm being perfectly honest, because I don't know if it's just me, but I just don't have like this good vibe with the show. It just felt like it's just a typical thing that WWE does, where they just overhype something. And I get it, it's promotion and everything. They want to make this the big thing because it's their ESPN. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, come on now.
Yeah, it's getting a little much now when it comes to just the advertisements alone in WWE itself. Like, it's one thing to have your ads, it's one thing to have that, but like, we're just getting an increasingly amount more than normal, and it's really starting to get on the fans. Like you could really tell too, just with the online discourse, like that, almost every single tweet I was seeing about the show had something to do with like, oh, we paid $30. Why are we getting ads? Why are we getting ads? And I mean, I feel like that's part of the caveat of like going into the show or going into the bundles, because I feel like they kind of hide some of that stuff. Because I was actually looking at some of it too, like some of the bundles, and like that $30 bundle you get. I'm pretty sure what I saw was Disney Plus still has ads for that, so you still gotta watch.
Still has ads.
Yes. So, which probably meant, hey, your ESPN Unlimited still had ads with it. So it's like, okay, well, that kind of sucks on that end, but
I was gonna say that if you want to pay for the no ads, Chad, you gotta pay $35.99 with the tax and everything included. I saw that on my bill will almost be $42.99. And I'm like, I don't even watch a lot of stuff on my Disney like I currently do, and I paid that for alone. So for me to get ESPN every month, like, nah, just like, hey, like Stephanie McMahon say, use the ESPN. I mean, use the NordVPN is what she had at the time in her podcast as a sponsorship. She said, go ahead, use that. Use it in a different country and, watch it on Netflix. That's the easiest way to do. That's how I watch it. And it's crazy that during the commercials that Walker was talking about for ESPN, I was just getting straight nothing. Like, they was just showing like the regular stuff they show on SmackDown where all the superstars are just doing their quick type of emo and then they transition. Which it wasn't much to really care about. And I know, Chad, that this is a PLE WWE coverage, but talking about what Walken said about continuing like sponsorship ham ads, the same thing for AW All Out. It was the same thing about HBO Max. You could watch it on HBO Max. And I'm like, yo, why is it every single match after, before, and after, and mid-match, you got to announce it? Like, we already know. We're already on your channel watching it. You don't got to repeat it to us. And it gets very exhausting as a fan that you're watching. Like, probably at the stadium, you don't got to deal with it once because you're already there. But our home viewers, it just gets very exhausting. Like, we're not brain dead. We already know we're on the app watching on ESPN or Netflix or legally. You don't got to hammer it so much for us to already hear it 25 times.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, it just gets really exhausting, like you said. I don't really understand why this is the regular method that they tend to do every single time. I mean, you're paying a lot of money for this kind of stuff, so you would expect to get some sort of benefits out of that. Because, like, I had, like, so much trouble with that whole thing. Like, I thought it was just going to be one of those things where it's like you pay the price, you have the service or whatever, and everything's fine. Because we all have necessities in our life, and my phone bill is one of them. And on top of that, you're allowed to add certain perks to it, which is very useful because you get like % off of certain things. So I thought the sort of bundle I had was going to help with that. It didn't. It just made it a big hassle. That's why I'm just going to be using our VPN moving forward, because it's just a lot easier. And it's just kind of funny to think about it. It's like you have other parts of the world having everything on Netflix. Netflix is the biggest streaming service out there. I just 100%. Don't understand. You got it over there in other countries, but we don't have it over here. That just doesn't make any sense, because you got Raw on there, you got the PLEs on there, NXT, SmackDown on other parts of the world. It just makes sense to have everything at one hub. But, that's besides the point. That's just going to be a recurring issue moving forward, and hopefully people are able to figure out exactly what sort of direction they want to go down with that. But, I'm ready to get into the show eventually, for sure.
Yeah, because we do have to kind of talk about this wrestling show that we did get, because it was a show that had some wrestling and, a lot of ads. So don't forget, this podcast will be sponsored by NordVPN. Go to the hashtag of Weebs of the Ring. We're not sponsored yet. Don't do that.
Chad, please don't try
that yet. Yet. So, but be wary of that. One day we will be. But let's just kind of talk about this card, I guess. So let's start with our main event, or probably would have started the show if it wasn't for them trying to counter program All Out. But we'll get to that opening match here in just a second, folks. But yes, our main event was Cody Rhodes taking on Drew McIntyre. The match itself was fine. Like it was fine because Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre. First of all, great. Both of them are great, awesome workers, and they actually do have some good chemistry with each other. They can work each other very well. Something felt off in this match, though. Like, Drop, you had mentioned it before we got on the call. Cody seemed very upset about something, and we even had Wade Barrett on commentary being like, "This feels like a different Cody Rhodes, and not in a good way." Because I don't know if he was trying to sell the attacks from last night or something, or what. Just it almost felt like Cody forgot every other move in his arsenal besides the freaking Cody Cutter and the disaster kick, because literally every moment he had, he went for that move, and Drew either countered it or got hit by it. And I'm just sitting here like, Cody, more moves. There are more moves in your arsenal than doing a springboard cutter and a springboard spin kick or whatever you want to call it. More shit. Okay, but I guess the story of the match is based. I guess it was just Cody selling the attack from last night, but it's not only just that, but we gotta do something about this referee, because this is the same referee that stopped Randy Orton from doing the punt. And Michael Cole in commentary was trying to play it off like, oh, he has compassion, but no, that's stupid. First of all, you're a referee with compassion in a wrestling contest. A sport, and I'll say sport because wrestling, there is a sport known as wrestling. Trust me, I've done it before. So you're a referee in a combat sport, and you're gonna have compassion. Let these dudes fight, man. I'm sorry, I'm trying my best to hold off on cussing and all that because of reasons, but sometimes, man, you just gotta drop an F-bomb. And this is one of those moments what the fuck are we doing here? Why are you going to stop Drew from just doing a kick onto Cody? You literally have people put each other through the announce table in a no DQ match, and referees let that slide. What's wrong with Drew just punching Cody's head into the desk? And remember that thing about surprises? You ain't getting any in this main event. No sirree, Bob. Not even the freaking Randy Orton heel turn that people kept wanting to talk about last night. But that's just the whole thing tonight. You want surprises? Well, you got none, except for Stephanie McMahon is going into the Hall of Fame, which congratulations to her and all that. But you just get left with Drew getting screwed out of another title shot. And nothing for Cody going forward, except for maybe another match with Drew. But Vash, I'm gonna let you go first. Vash, what do you think of this match? Everything surrounding it. Maybe you could shed a little bit more positivity, because again, the quality of match was fine. It's always just the stuff around it with WWE that just really irks some people. But go ahead, what did you think of everything?
Well, Chad, he should have not asked me to ask for and add more positivity, because I won't be adding no positivity towards this segment. The two matches I did not give a flying fuck about this match was the first one that started the show and the last one that started the show. The last one that ended the show.
Well, it started our show, so there you go.
Yeah. But these two I didn't care for. When it comes to Drew and Cody, on paper sounds amazing, but it was no build up. Cody has been busy. Stuff that they could layer throughout the years that they've been, even this past Friday night when they said that, hey, we won actually our tag team title 15 years ago. All those things would have been useful if it was back to back for 2 weeks and we understood more the emotional attachment, more the emotional strings towards our character of Cody and Drew. And how much was Drew that we heard that he was supposed to get his big W since he re-signed with the company last year in 2024 during the summer. But then that hasn't come to fruition. He got his moments. He's been a few there, being the Money in the Bank winner and other stuff and other opportunities. But how much has it come forward where we as fans could be like, hey, we want to see the title on him longer than 5 minutes and 35 seconds. So I said on my prediction, I would love Drew to win. I would have still stand by this if that did happen. But for the ref, the shenanigans to kind of your ref try to stop him, Drew, at the end of the day, you could just still push it. Like, why you stopping me? You stopping me, I'm gonna push you and then still do it. If you lost your chance and the belt got rang, you could be like, yo, Triple H, he stopped me from doing my move. It was still allowed. He was just being compassionate. Same thing he stopped, Randy. Watkins brought up a good point. At the end of the day, it really depends how much of the trying to do the shenanigans to save Cody from not getting pinned too early, or try to give the story. So at what point, which one matters more, for the win-or-loss type of ratio, or for the story to push forward if Cody and his schedule has been busy or not? So it's just, for me, this match on paper was awesome, but did I care for it? Not two fucks. With no problem, I would have literally missed the event, and I would have not been sad about it, not saying anything bad about it. It's just that with the referee being there, if he wasn't, probably would have added more value. Like, okay, cool, they did something, brutality. It reminds me of the match with KO and with Cody back in Backlash, I believe. That would have been more something like, okay, Drew, we're having something aggressively. You have, it makes sense why you have all this type of remorse and hatred against Cody. But this is not going for it. I didn't care for it.
Okay. Well, how about you, Drop? Did you care for all this? Was this your match of the night? Was everything surrounding this just the peak of all that is professional wrestling?
Nah, this definitely wasn't my match of the night. My match of the night took place. It was the third match of the card, but we'll get to that next. Next two segments, thankfully. But I honestly expected a lot more out of this, mainly the ending aspect, because it's like, I already didn't want this match to main event the PLE as it is, because there was no story going into this match, even though there is story between these two guys, but they didn't really bother to tell it. They just had Drew McIntyre have this little side quest of Randy Orton until Cody Rhodes came back. But you could have built on that history that they meant about the tag champions and where they went on the indies when they left the company to rebuild themselves and everything. There was a lot, like, I still remember a couple years ago, before the Royal Rumble, talking about their inner struggles and everything like that. You could have easily went back to that, built upon it, do something along the lines of that with this build. And I do think this is the end, because I did see on Twitter that they are teasing Cody and Seth, and Crown Jewel is the next PLE, and they did say they're doing the champion and champion thing. So this is definitely done. They're going to be focusing on Cody and Seth. And I mean, at least there's some effort there, because at least there's a legitimate reason as to why it's intriguing, because Seth's never beat him. But you couldn't do anything with this match story-wise. That's the thing about me. Like, it goes the same way with video games, manga, movie, TV shows. Even if I read a book, if there's a certain storyline I'm following, I want to be hooked. I want to see why this matters when I watch it. And this match didn't do anything to me. And I love Coda and I love Drew. And this is no disrespect to them. This is towards the creative team. Because when we talk about our criticism on this show, it's not directed towards the performers, because they're just doing their jobs. Like, if we were in their shoes and we were professional wrestlers and we were told to do certain things, obviously we would have to do it because it's mandatory and it's our job. It's just looking at how things were on the Unreal thing, looking at how they think back there. It just makes me question, where it's like, okay, we're going to do all this and then get there. And Cody did seem off tonight. He seemed frustrated. He didn't really seem like himself, and he's never like that. So it threw me off. And it just makes me think, it's like, you could have had this marinate a little bit, honestly. Like, if it was really up to me, I probably would have not had Cody return that SmackDown and actually do something after this PLE. Maybe after this PLE, that following SmackDown, maybe if you want to, if Crown Jewel wasn't around the corner or whatever, let's say this is in a different universe, I would have just done it right there. You got a fresh face, he's returning, you got weeks of your next event, you could do things with that. Or they could do something how they did last year during the fall, where they waited at a later date for that PLE, and maybe they made it a little spicy, where it's like, we don't know if you're going to be the champion walking into this, if we ever cross paths again. So that can add another layer to the whole Cody and Seth thing. But it's like, I don't know, it just seems like you have this towards the end of the show. They typically do it for a reason, and I fully believe, deep down, this was not the original plan to close out the show. I know deep down,
Oh,
it probably was
100%.
that mixed tags match that was going to close the show because they advertised it because it was AJ Lee coming back, or the whole.
Oh.
I'm not going to even touch on the next match we started because I'm happy that actually did take place in the beginning of that show because.
Well, that's what I'm gonna say because it's like I can almost guarantee Cena and Brock were supposed to be the main event because you know as much as we wanted the mixed tag to be the main event, to be that above Brock Lesnar and John Cena, I don't see that being the case at all. But we know why they switched the two. We know exactly why they switched the two because they were trying to freaking counter program All Out, which I'm sorry, I had All Out on at the same time, and by the time they freaking started the Lesnar, hell, the main event of All Out still went on during the Yeet concert. That weekend.
I'm not going to touch on that.
And it was a much better match from what I was saying. I'm just like, wow, these two are actually like putting on a good match and all that. But that's whatever. We'll get into those other two matches here in just a little bit.
Yeah, it's just strange.
But like,
it's just strange.
Yeah, it was.
I never seen these guys like this before.
Yeah, I really don't know what it was about. Like, maybe it was the change of the card and all that like that, but like Cody wouldn't be. I don't really see Cody being somebody that would be so frustrated with that. But no. I really don't know. But I mean, yeah, it's just like the way the next match that we'll talk about ended. It felt more like the main event and all that, or like that's how the night was supposed to be and all that. Yeah, I mean, and you gave some good options too. Like they could have done. Really, what they should have done is they should have saved the Drew Randy match for WrestlePalooza and then used that for Cody's return. And, kind of like what you were saying, the build for Crown Jewel, have that kind of centered around Drew as well, like challenging Cody. And so then you have that question, are we going to get Cody versus Seth again, or are we going to get Drew versus Seth again? And even if that's somewhat predictable, like tonight was, that's still something that you can kind of get intrigued by because Drew McIntyre is a force. Like he is somebody to be in your main event. Like he is a main event player. It's fine to like run a story like that. But that could have given us even more intrigue, more mic work from the two. And, you could have still, I mean, dare I say, you could have still done the match like this. I mean, granted, I don't like how it happened because of stupid ass referee. But like you could have still left it open ended like this to have another rematch and all that. But I don't know, it's just weird, man. It just feels very awkward placing. And something just didn't click tonight with them. But I mean, even with it not clicking, it was still a pretty good match.
Yeah, I just don't know why things were operating this way. It's just strange that they're so comfortable where they're at, because the fact that they legitimately, and this isn't like sugarcoating or anything, that they want to compete with AEW whenever they have their events. I mean, I would expect you to try a little bit harder performance-wise, given what you have on the card, because the competition that they have there in terms of superstars and stuff. They're no joke. They have a lot of high competitors there. You would expect to put a lot of effort into a match like that. I mean, with the ladies, I mean, they sealed the deal. No questions asked with that. That was a perfect match to me, in my personal opinion. But it's like everything else, like, it's just, I don't have anything else to say about this.
Yeah, just about anything that happened with the female talent tonight was top tier, I would say.
Top tier.
Like, anything to deal with them. But, we've danced around it enough. Let's talk about how the night opened with John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. So something on paper that is hype as hell because, hey, it's John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. It's literally Goku versus Jiren. And much like Jiren, Brock Lesnar is also a piece of cardboard with no character whatsoever.
Insert
basically, you guys remember SummerSlam 2014? Copy paste. Same result too. Like, I know you guys heard me say, "Oh, they should repeat that." Except have John Cena win. Yeah, y'all forgot that exception, didn't you? You forgot that exception, didn't you? Because like Brock Lesnar just goes out there, just destroys Cena, 7 F5s. I didn't see the amount of German suplexes and all that, but like. Just what the fuck, man? What the fuck? Like,
Chet, I hated this segment. This segment was boring of 9 minutes. It was 8 minutes 48 seconds. I'll tell you, chat. I was happy. This man, the production starting the match. I want to say a big shout out to the production team. Michael Cole gave them shout out during the kickoff, so I want to give that credit to as someone who works in the industry, who works in the production side. Thank you for always giving credit where credit is due. Because when Johnny came out, the yellow, the floor lights and everything, the announce tables, the floor lighting on theirs, it looked really beautiful. But then, that's everything went downhill because guess what? It was Suplex City, seems like it. Brock Lesnar just didn't give a fuck. He said, I'm a Suplex John A-Town. I'm a Suplex the referee too. And I'm going to give a fuck just by walking around the ring, just walk out smiling. And I'm like, cool. When Walker's brought up the Goku versus Jared in my head, it was Goku versus Brawley. But Jared actually works too. I think works better because in my head I saw Brawley, but like, hey, Brawley could be like more like Braun Breaker or like Bronson Reed with the strength because they have more of a mind. So I like that. Other than that, the match was whack. Brock Lesnar should have not won. This was a disappointing match. Like 9 minutes, we dead ass wasted. Like, look, Paul Heyman. Look,
that was the highlight. That was the highlight of all this.
That was the only highlight, honestly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman, appreciate you for coming out, speaking once again, and advocating for the Beast. Thank you. You did such a fantastic job. However, your post-show comments, I don't fuck with. You saying that, hey guys, Brock Lesnar came to not make people smile. It came to make kids cry. At the end of the day, this is a retirement tour. Even Michael Cole said it during commentary. This is not a point or a time to literally just have the guy that was supposed to be celebrating have his ass kicked and washed down on the floor. Brock Lesnar is going to be here for another 1, 2 years or 5 years. Who the fuck knows? But the George are literally retiring in December. We're going to see him in probably business suits or wearing pants. We have not seen this man wear pants in 25 plus years in a ring. So it's going to be interesting next year. But now we have this man coming out and get his ass whipped. Literally just 7 F5s. Yeah. Even Michael Cole during commentary said like, yo, the reason he was called the FU before it's called the attitude adjustment is because that was an acknowledgement, a kind of like a fuck you towards Brock Lesnar. It was all this like, oh, cool, we adding all this. He's never beat him. Oh, he has a 4-to-2 ratio. I'm like, oh, cool. We're going to make it a 3-to-4 ratio. Nope. We're going to make a fucking 5-to-2 ratio for what? Yeah. Just because he's back and we need to have him look menacing to beat fucking all the old time of Super Cena. Who the fucking give a fuck? Sorry, that is a bad transition, but Drop, how do you feel about this as well?
Yeah, I did not care about this at all. Like when I was trying to watch this earlier, it kept buffering back and forth. And I even told my family, I was like, it's not even bothering me that it's buffering because what am I really missing? Like this is the exact same match that I saw 11 years ago. What am I really missing here in this scenario? Because it was just a whole spot fest in terms of finisher spams over and over and over and over and over again. It's like I wasn't really as intrigued to watch this to begin with, but I at least had that little spark of hope only because of what's recently been going on with John in terms of the Super Cena coming out. And I'm not really blaming him because obviously somebody had to catch an early flight. And they didn't want to be there for that long, so they tend to do whatever they want to.
That's what I thought. That's what this literally just said. Boom.
The only thing that's honestly worth talking about here, actually, we don't really need to talk about it. It's just like the only highlight of this segment itself, the match and everything, was just Paul Heyman introducing Brock Lesnar. That's literally the only thing I care about. I can't even begin to tell you like what was the point of like all those vignettes talking about the history between both of these guys, and then you just have them spamming their finishers like this is some fucking Dynasty Warrior shit? Or
you know what this reminded me of,
you're playing in training mode, and you just enable the smash ball over and over again.
Yeah, thank you. That's a good reference towards.
You know what this reminded me of, Drop? Remember back, I think it was like 2016. I want to say 2016. Remember when we got that match between? Well, I say match, but we were supposed to get that match between Brock and Randy.
Yeah.
And they did all those vignettes of how they went up in OVW, and we got a main event match, mind you, that got thrown out because Brock decided to, bust Randy open, and we don't get a rematch or anything from that. It's just a one and done kind of thing. Like that, it's very similar vibes to that. It's just like I said this too on Twitter. I'm just like, I'm glad this did not main event because oh my god, we would have had riots, I think. But I will say this. Good on WWE too, because the placement of this match and doing it as they did and having all those kids cry, good business model, because now the parents have to all go to the merch stand to get something for their kids so they'll stop crying.
Yeah.
So good business model.
And look,
good marketing.
Look, chat, what I'm also mad about is that, look, this match, literally, what I'm telling you, again, 9 minutes match. The actual entrance coming out, it was in total a good 15 minutes from what I saw. So out of the 40 minutes of the event started, because the event started at 7 o'clock, we had the next match where entrances started at 7:40. So we had literally 40 minutes of an actual match with entrance and OD commercial ad. That's another reason why I'm fucking pissed that this match started at night and still was 30 minutes of not even much of ads, commercials, and entrances. It's like, yo, like if people ESPN and people being at the event itself, it's like, yo, you spend money just to literally sit in 40 minutes just for a 10-minute match or less. Like that just hurts me, my wallet, just thinking about that. Like, again, not throwing shade of, counter programming, but of AW and WWE, but pacing wise, WE literally need to understand that pacing the story is great, but pacing in PLE's events and having a business model, you guys are slacking off and being lazy just because of all these sponsorship you're having, all these ad revenue that you got to do, because it's really making it lackluster when you're talking about an 8 to 10 o'clock story scripted show, but it's become more of segments being scripted and the other part is being commercial ads about byproduct within the company. And it's very disappointing when myself, who wasn't always been an AW fan, but watched a PLE for the first time in a while, actually was more locked in because of the actual matches. The story wasn't there, but the match was locked in. The commentators and the buffering, I have my own issues, but I cannot dismiss that. Taking that out of the way, the matches had me hooked because they were going back and forth, back to back. The pacing was good, but for this, a 40-minute out of a 10-minute match is fucking insane, my G.
Yeah, like I don't get it, man. Because like literally, there was this whole stink about Brock Lesnar coming back. People were for it, people were against it, people liked it, people didn't like it. Like there was that whole big stink, and then you have a match like this, and you could tell, like after having this match and seeing like Brock's time on like SmackDown and all that, it's obvious to me. Because you could tell with Brock and his matches, you could tell when he cares and when he doesn't care. You could tell he did not give a shit about this. No, he did not at all. This was a freaking paycheck for him. That's all he cares about. So glad you got your paycheck. Glad you're only going to be around for a limited time. But I don't know, man. It's just... Because that's the thing. It's like John Cena's whole thing is, to never give up, hustle, loyalty, respect, blah, blah, blah. But here's the freaking thing. Never giving up is fine. It's a great message to send. However, you gotta come out on top with that kind of message. You gotta come out and be like, I won because I never gave up. I stood up to adversity, blah, blah, blah. And that only comes when you're the victor of it. It's a hollow message when you have something like this. Be like, oh, well, I stood my ground. I made sure that Lesnar couldn't get away with it. Really? Because you kind of did. You kind of let him just F5 you 7 freaking times and just recreate the damn 2014 bullshit nonsense. Like at least in 2014, that came in a time where people kind of needed Cena to get his ass kicked. I get it from like historical purposes for that time. I get that. That needed to happen. This did not need to happen tonight. And it is bullshit. It is complete and utter bullshit. And people wanted to complain. Oh, you're just complaining that Brock is back. Oh, why are you complaining that Brock is back? This is fucking why. This is why we were complaining about Brock Lesnar being back. Because of shit like this. Because of just utter crap like this. And people wonder why people get pissed off. See, now I'm getting legit like angry here. Like, you want to talk about like why people got angry that Brock was back. Why people didn't give a crap, why, except for the live crowd. Live crowd fucking loved it because he's a goddamn damn draw for your stupid company making money. Oh, but like, no, you can't trust your other talent that are there to make you money that already made you freaking money. No, you got to bring Brock Lesnar back for some dumbass reason. Oh, we're just going to squash John Cena. Fuck you, man. Like, fuck everything to do about this stupid ass fucking match. Oh my God. Let's talk about a good match. Let's talk about match of the night. Let's talk about the real reason we're fucking here to talk about this Wrestlepalooza. The women's world title is vacant right now. We need a new champion. And oh boy, did we not only get a match, we got a clean match with no interference, with no chicanery, no shenanigans and all that. Just straight up grabs, straight up action. And I loved every moment of it. Io Sky taking on Stephanie Vaquer. Again, an awesome match. And one of the things I always look forward to on WWE programming is the women's wrestlers, because they always bring it. Their stories are a lot more engaging, depending on, what story we're talking about and all that. But most of our complaints with that is just that we want better for them because we know that they can be better. And guess what? Here's another point of proof that they can be better, and that, I'm sorry, they're probably better than most of the men on the roster. I don't know. That might just be my little feelings right now because of everything else that's surrounding all this. But man, this was just a really great contest between two people that love their craft and all that. Just kudos all around. Match of the night, easily by far. God, it was good. Of course, Stephanie Vaquer coming out on top, which was great, showing that Latino heat. Love to see it. And Wade Barrett just being just as creepy on commentary as Booker T, being like, I would love to kiss the devil or whatever he said, or make out with the devil. I don't know what he said. It was creepy as hell.
Wait, what? You sure? Huh?
He was like,
and my Wade was like, no, forget about it. No, forget about that. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, but kudos. Oh my God, Michael Cole, damn it. Know your damn moves. I don't give a shit if you're trying to tell a story. Guess what? Part of that story is knowing that, it's not just a beam he's shooting, it's the Kamehameha wave. Not the Gallic gun, the Kamehameha wave. I'm going to keep making Dragon Ball Z references because, damn it, that is a good series I love. But, Vash, what did you think of this match? God, I need to quote Adam Pearce, I need a drink. Come here, water.
I understand you, aka water. Or if you're Colombian out here for Latino heat, aguardiente. However, when it comes to this match, the Latino heat, your boy Legendary Vash was right. He trusted his gut for our Thursday grappling with a week prediction. I said it, Io Sky, Stephanie Vaquer, somebody had to put a little flip coin. Somebody went Io Sky. I said, I'm gonna go, oh my God. I believe in Stephanie Vaquer. I believe that she could be the rightful choice. And I thank you, Triple H, for pulling the gun, putting on her. But I love that there was no shenanigans. There's no people prediction like we said that we might get Asuka or Kyrie having involved them. Something possibility around a Asuka heel turn on her. Many possibilities that may happen. Rhea Ripley might put herself in. So now we have Stephanie Vaquer with her win, and Walker said it beautifully that this was a grappling match. Me and my wife was hooked in. My wife was asking me questions. How old is Stephanie Vaquer and everything? Which is, she's 32. So it's just to know, like I was telling my wife, and she's also from Chile, so just supporting my wife, just getting questions and just being involved, being invested, just seeing that. And my wife was also a bit undecided, like I want Io Sky or Stephanie to win, but she's like, hey, Io has had her champion. My wife words, Io has already had her champion. Give this the opportunity for Stephanie Vaquer, and guess what? And 19 minutes later, and it happened. Just 19 minutes later, and it was a beautiful long match, by the way. Beautiful 20 match. This was, I'm gonna say right now, match of the night. I was 20 minutes locked into this whole segment of a match. It was one of my favorites, and just the way she does her emo is always phenomenal. The crowd behind her as well. There's a few times that I thought Io Sky was gonna take the W. I was like, oh shit, this might get her chance, but it didn't happen. Stephanie Vaquer got the opportunity, and she got the W. But before I continue rambling about La Prometa, continue being the winner that I advocated for and I was excited for, I want to pass it to you, Drop. How did you feel for your Io Sky, the girl from the sky, to not win her champion for this time around? Probably in the future again, but how do you think about Stephanie Vaquer, who you have watched from NXT to now to finally get the W in the big leagues?
It's like we talked about on Thursday. There really wasn't any wrong winner here when it comes to this match, because like you can't really be upset with Io winning or Stephanie winning because they're both great wrestlers and they deserve opportunities like that. So this is one of the matches that I was really comfortable with because I can't really walk away upset either way. That's just how this match was made, and it just made a lot of sense with either outcome. And I'm glad that Stephanie won the match because, again, you know, it's pretty crazy to even look at within a couple months, especially if you look at early this year. She became NXT champion. She became NXT North Americans champion. And then looking at her now, she became a world champion on the main roster in that span of 7 or 8 months. And that's just pretty crazy to think about, that she's already in a predicament like that. So I'm very happy for her when it comes to the position she's in. I already know she's going to be a good champion. There's a lot of things to look forward with her in terms of contenders and everything. So I'm excited for that. And again, like we also talked about on Thursday, I didn't really expect anybody to really interfere in this match because Asuka's always had her word when somebody tells her no. And it's also out of character for Asuka to make rational decisions on her own after she tells somebody she's not going to do something, to come out there, because this is a title that has no champion. So you obviously want to have a match where both parties are going at it with one another, and then you get a good outcome out of that, because interference in this match doesn't make a lot of sense. If you would say somebody happened to be the champion and they had a challenger, you could probably throw that in there, but it didn't really make sense in this, especially with the party involved and everything. And obviously Io has stuff to deal with in terms of Asuka, whatever's going on with Kyrie alongside her, probably going to get something with her and Io and Rhea teaming up against them. So she already has her path. Now Stephanie has her own. So I'm very curious to see exactly who's going to be going up against her, to see what happens next with that. So I am looking forward to seeing like who's going to be Stephanie's first challenger whenever we see Raw on Monday, to see exactly like who's going to be the one confronting her and wanting a title shot.
My question to you guys: do you think we will have a first match before we get to Crown Jewel? Since we know that since the Crown Jewel belts will be being defended, we know is Stephanie versus Tiffany, Jade, or Nia. You know, depending on the winner, most likely will be Tiffany, or unless it goes to somebody else.
Hopefully.
Do you think Stephanie will have a match before Crown Jewel match, or do you think they will just build that up depending on the results?
I feel like the smarter move would probably to be building that Crown Jewel match. I think I would probably prefer that, and then after that you could probably focus on whatever's next for Stephanie, because it already was confirmed by Triple H. I saw a clip on the pre-show that Cody and Seth is set, and you have that match with Tiffany and the triple threat. More than likely she's going to win that match, because I do not want to see either of those two up against Stephanie Vaquer in a match at all. You're not going to really have me locked in with a Stephanie and Nia or Stephanie and Jade. I feel like Tiffany's probably the best option there, and it makes a lot of sense in that scenario. So, I mean, so far looking at that I would definitely build on that. Probably, maybe she has her little moment there on Monday. Tiffany has her match on Friday, and then you can start building up to that. But this was the match of the night to me, and I even made a tweet about it saying, you know, there's not really much to say in terms of what match was the best out of the night. I mean, this was the one. This was the wrestling match that felt like a wrestling match. No interference, no stupid shenanigans at all whatsoever, regardless what it is. So I'm completely okay with the outcome, and it makes a lot of sense, and just opens up the door for a lot of possibilities for Stephanie moving forward. And it also tells us as the viewers that they are high on her, they care for her. Obviously, they value her more than Julia, not taking anything away from Julia, but they definitely do value her to put her up in that position. And it's unfortunate, but that's just how the game works at times. You just have your favorite pieces that you like to use. So, yeah.
And nobody can say language is a barrier, because I remember Dave Meltzer said a couple of weeks ago that the reason that we haven't seen Stephanie Vaquer is because she's taking English classes or something. I'm like, word?
Well, she said that.
Yeah, but or like saying that oh, she's away because of an injury and because she's taking time off. But like her saying that I'm still, doing what I gotta do in the ring, but still taking classes. So like, hey, language is not buried. We had Ioska as a champion. We had a Spanish speaking also as a champion now, that her English is not her first language. So it's like, hey, nobody can say that. So it shows, like Job said, to prove the point that Stephanie McIntyre is more of a important figure where Julia hasn't been much, where it's like, hey, where's the questionable antics here going on here?
And yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in line with like what Drop said to kind of answer your question from back there. Like, focus on the Crown Jewel stuff, and then afterwards set up her challenger, and then they can do stuff in the background too with all the other stories they're doing, like with Io and Asuka. So like now they can really kind of build up the whole Io Asuka debate, because now Asuka can be like, oh, you could have used our help out there. If we were out there to help you, you could have been champion right now. But hey, fuck us, I guess. So. There's that, Io. I guess, forget us. You didn't want the help. Fine, whatever. You're not champion. Go away. Get out of here. Yeah, and I'm hoping it is Tiffany versus Stephanie. That's a much better match that they could have. And I mean, I guess since we're not dealing with Saudi Arabia, we're dealing with Australia, we can actually have a decent card going into this. Because I mean, Seth versus Cody, that's going to be a banger. Stephanie versus Tiffany, that can be a banger. Whatever else they decide to put on Crown Jewel will be a banger. Yeah, so I'm at least kind of looking forward to Crown Jewel, at least with those two matches on the card. So that's at least something. Which we'll use that as a nice, fun transition into basically the rest of this conversation is going to be all to deal with the Vision, because the Vision had two big old matches tonight. Of course, we had our mixed tag team match of Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch taking on CM Punk and AJ Lee. This is AJ Lee's first match in about 10 years. And what did I see? It was like 7 months, because her last match was like in March of 2015 from what the graphic said. So this ended up just being another car crash of a match. Now, I'm not going to lie, it did start out kind of boring. And Seth and Becky were like leaning more on the comedic side. I didn't mind it so much, because like when you kind of look at what this match really is, like kind of taking yourself out of the match as a fan, as you look at it with like a critic, and like looking at it in terms of like the wrestling show that they're putting on. It's more of just like, okay, we're going to play upon the crowd with this. We're going to make this kind of fun, because we all kind of know AJ Lee's going to pull out the win for this team. So, let's just kind of start off a little more lighthearted and then get more with all the physical action going on into it. And yeah, not gonna lie, it kind of led to a boring start until AJ Lee got that hot tag in, and oh boy, that's when the match really kicked off, because we started having like stereo moves happening, like stereo pedigrees, stereo shining wizards, all that stuff. We even got some intergender action with a Black Widow on Seth, some sharpshooters going on, a lot of sharpshooters, mind you, tonight. So interesting that they're paying a lot of tribute to Bret Hart, but that's fine. That's cool. That's neat. That's awesome. And of course, the ending segments of this match where like AJ Lee just gets thrown into the guys on top of the announce table. By the way, the announce table, broke and, everybody fell through it. But hey, Drew can't kick Cody through a table, but, don't want to beat that dead horse anymore tonight. Yeah, and then AJ counters a manhandle slam into the Black Widow for the submission win. So again, CM Punk and AJ Lee win, kind of, the obvious outcome for this match. But I mean, it's really a match of just two halves. There's a boring half and there's a half that's like got everybody talking a little bit more. So yeah, I mean, it was fine for what it was. I'm looking forward to the singles matches that we'll be getting, especially with AJ versus Becky for that IC title. That should be really fun, and it should be a really good showcase on AJ Lee just as a singles competitor, because I'm not gonna lie, when she got the hot tag, she started doing basically the same moves she did when she came back and attacked Becky, with the Thez presses, the punches, and then like grabbing Becky by the hair and slapping her and all that. So that was basically the same segment. But beyond that, it was still really good to see AJ in the match, back in the wrestling ring, back in the wrestling sphere and all that. She looked really good. There was a couple moments that did kind of take me out, where it's just like, okay, we're trying to get into place for this move, place for this spot and all that. And it took me out a little bit, but not enough to really like knock the match too much. Because again, there's going to be some growing pains for all that. But Drop, what do you think of this match? I know this is one match that you were also very much looking forward to, considering, again, AJ Lee's first match in 10 years. So talk to us. What do you think about all this?
So I was happy to see AJ back because she hasn't been wrestling in over 10 years. So seeing her come out with CM Punk, that moment in itself was special. To see both of those Seth and not Seth, Punk and AJ to team up against Seth and Becky in this match, because it's just always the moment to me that really hits hard. So that in itself is probably what made this match for me. And there was bits and pieces of this match that I liked in terms of like the intergender moments or CM Punk getting the edge. I think one spot I really do like was the selling of one of the GTSs that CM Punk hit on Seth Rollins when he landed on the rope. I really liked that. And there was a part of me deep down inside, I thought I was going to see AJ run and hit a stomp afterwards.
Yeah,
but that didn't happen.
But she did later, but
yeah. So it's like,
or at least tried to.
Yeah, so it's like that in itself was really nice, and seeing AJ in there trying to get used to the whole thing again, which it'll obviously take time. It wasn't bad at all, but obviously the more she adjusts to it, she'll eventually get used to the system again, and it'll just come back naturally. I didn't really think she looked bad at all, outside of mainly it was just the whole Black Widow stuff, which you have to be in a certain mood, in a certain position in order to execute that move. Because one person I know that obviously would know how to sell that move is Nikki Bella, considering the history that both of those ladies have with one another. You're supposed to slouch a little bit so she's able to wrap her legs around you, so she's able to put you in that position where she's able to execute it properly. So, like, that was probably one of the little nitpicks I really had with this. And again, this is one of the moments when I was watching the show where it was going in and out. It was loading. Honestly, when it loaded back again, I just saw the highlights of who won the match, which honestly didn't really bother me because I already figured who was going to win the match. And it ended up the way that all three of us talked about ever since this match was announced, with her putting Becky Lynch and the Black Widow, her tapping out to it, and obviously that's going to lead to their crown jewel match, which there you go, guys, right there. We talked about 2 matches already when it comes to Cody and Seth. That's going to be a banger match. Actual story there. And then you have Tiffany and Stephanie Vaquer, another banger match. And then you could have AJ Lee and Becky Lynch, which I kind of liked seeing Becky more in like one-on-one matches, rather than like tag matches whenever we get them from time to time. But that should also be a good match, because that's pretty much how we get there. Because I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest you got a little moment between the both of them where he's like, well, technically, if you're going by the rules, I pinned you, I should be owed a title opportunity. That's pretty much how we're going to extend their feud and get even further with that, which I have no issues with that at all. I feel like that's probably a smart business move, and that's more than likely the plan. I feel like a lot of us saw that coming from a mile away ever since she was walking around with that title at the beginning. If she could have just thrown it back to Becky and not really give a crap about it, but she actually saw some value with it. So that was just foreshadowed for quite some time. But besides like a bits and pieces here, I feel like it was just the moment itself that really mattered to me with them in here.
Yeah, I feel that, because again, like, AJ needs some of those reps to get back into the groove of things. Because again, like, this is a much different company than when she left it. Things are, the competition's actually kind of there, and that might sound like a slight to the division when she was around, but I mean, come on, let's call a spade here. They didn't have much competition at all back then. So it's just good that, like, again, we've talked about, the playing field that she's on, how much she can work with it. And yeah, now she can actually work and do what she wants with it. And of course, those anxieties are going to be there, obviously, but I thought she did really well tonight, because that was the main story of this match, is just AJ Lee coming back, and Becky again just really selling just the threat of AJ Lee. Like, oh, so like she's dealt with crazy before, but not the AJ Lee kind of crazy, and especially like just the offense that AJ Lee can bring upon and all that. So yeah, but Vash, what'd you think of this match? Was it good? Was it bad? Was it mediocre at best? Were you excited to finally get some more AJ Lee in your life to watch? Go ahead and talk to the crowd. Talk to us. How'd you enjoy this, or did you not enjoy this?
I did enjoy this. Fuck yeah. But you know why? Because Watkins literally spoke what he said in the beginning, exactly how I felt. Sometimes it's scary how much me and Watkins have much in the thoughts, because he said exactly the first 15 minutes of this match, it was a snooze fest. It was more comedic. Was it bad comedic? No. It was just more that it was the like, hey, we're not gonna let you tag her in. We're not gonna let you. We're gonna tag Seth. And all right, cool. You're gonna tag yourself back into CM Punk because you can't have her. Okay, we're gonna switch out again. Big is gonna get in. You gotta switch out CM Punk for AJ, then switch out Seth. It was a comedic that I didn't give two fucks about. It was fun, but I was here for the drama, for AJ to be involved, for the crazy shit that she would do. Like she said on the ESPN, maybe a 4-way kiss, maybe the craziness, maybe intergender fight, and that's what we saw. That was the fun part. The going ham. I do agree with Watkins that she needs, like, her wrestling, her high flying moves, awesome. But when it comes to the close up, the fisting and everything, the punching, it doesn't look very clear. It looks very old school style. I hope that she could adapt more current style with what the women wrestlers are doing. I'm not expecting her to do anything like Io Sky or Stephanie Vaquer in her current age and state, but I'm hoping for more better selling in the condition as a current wrestler in today's time, with a better choreography, with not so much pop, but you're not really landing them. You're just making it look like it. But I do one thing want to add: the table spot was really amazing of what we guys brought up. That the table spot throwing her, and I noticed that when she landed and all three of them fell, the first thing that CM Punk did is drag himself, even before, like, probably he had a couple seconds to be like, okay, I feel my body, I'm good. Oh, my wife is right next to me. I'm gonna check, hey, yo, baby, how you doing? You doing good? Doing good. And then him just making sure real quick, and then right after that, our girl Becky grabbed CM Punk and grab AJ back into the ring. And I do agree with Drop. Her finisher, the Black Widow, seemed like it was very inconsistent during this match, but I think it was just a bit rust. It wasn't like just, probably not getting the hook, or the opponent or the partner that she's with wasn't getting it clear. But I felt like when she was with Seth, I think the Black Widow executed very well in the when she had Seth in the Black Widow, right? Would you guys agree to that?
Yeah, that looked fine, and I mean, I think the last one also looked fine. I know I did mention before we got on. I think there was a little bit of like Becky kind of using her arm to put AJ's leg where it needed to go. So
Yeah.
I think some of that too could have just been just the adrenaline in the atmosphere and all that, because sometimes you can make mistakes like that. Like things can go so well and perfect in practice and all that, like as you're practicing or whatever, but in execution you might make the mistake because hey, now you're on stage having to play all this stuff and you just
Yeah,
miss
like
a
a live
note or
crowd.
something. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's fine.
yeah,
It
whole live
happens.
crowd is hard.
Yeah.
Other than that,
So
my last thoughts about this match is that it was great to see AJ being involved. I know CM Punk was a happy man just having his wife in the ring with him, and a lot of people were showing pictures of how it looked from 2013 to 2014, how they look back to back, and like just seeing how time has grown. For anybody that has watched the kickoff and just hearing the commercial of the commercial package interview with Corey Graves, it's very hilarious having AJ's I don't know why, Chip, but every time I say AJ, my brain is about to say AJ Styles, not AJ Lee. I'm not sure if I'm the only one, but when it comes to AJ Lee, I love how she keeps saying her little offspring of the other wrestlers that have come after her. So it's just pretty interesting how she keeps how she says that, and like I'm just waiting for somebody to be like, so does that make me the father of all these kids? That's just
I
my little
mean,
comment.
kind of. He kind of acts like that on NXT whenever he's down there, or with his NXT children like Roxanne and all that.
Yeah.
And the one who got the boot from WWE that is now, doing other things with her life, which fine, cool. No, nothing wrong with that. Not judging at all. Yeah, I mean, I guess my only other thing to mention on this, give us some intergender matches after all this. I mean, you let us do that in the game in 2K25. Give us some of that now, because like we got some of it here. I mean, even just the simple like sharpshooters we were getting was cool. Some of the slaps we got. I mean, it was kind of very reminiscent of the mixed tag match we got at like Mania 34 when Ronda made her debut that year. Where she just kind of started laying in some light punches on Triple H and all that. So there was a moment that kind of reminded me of that. But yeah, just do some more of that. Like you don't have to do it all the time, but every so often wouldn't hurt. It'll be fine. It could be cool. It could be neat.
Cool one is Andrade and Zelina Vega. That would have been a cool one.
To face each other?
No, the intergender matches. Remember how you spoke about like they were like a duo back then, Andrade and Zelina Vega. They were like a manager and a team type of tag team. So it would have been cool. Like in today's time, they would have worked out. But sadly, we don't got Andrade here no more. So that would have been a cool opportunity if that was the case.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna move on to another tag match that I know Drop is just itching to talk about. He's been waiting to talk about this all night long. It was the Usos taking on Bron Breakker with a special guest referee, LA Knight. We finally get a stipulation for this. So hey, it's not much different from a Raw match, right, everybody? Right? We got the Usos coming back. Okay. I have a pet peeve here because it's one thing for Jay to. So Jay changed his music, but it's a lot like along the lines of when Roman went solo when the Shield broke up. He kind of still used the Shield music, and Jay's music, it's just me, you, stay one-ish. It's basically their Usos music, except I think it's in a slightly different key, but it's basically just a variation of the Usos theme and all that. So the Usos music starts and all that, and they have it. You could still yeet to it, everybody. They started yeeting to it a little bit, but now we got to play Jay's because that's the marketable one and all that, and we got to run it back and all that. We got to yeet while the AEW All Out main event is still going on. Like, gotta keep doing that. Gotta get those fans in watching only on ESPN. Hopefully you paid your $30 for all this, everybody, especially after all the ads we got in between everything. Yeah, so LA Knight getting added to this match as the referee was made during the pre-show, apparently, where like the Brons and the Usos got into a little bit of a fight, and Adam Pearce is just like, I'm gonna add a special guest referee, LA Knight. And I mean, this was basically just an excuse to make this match a no DQ match. instead of just making it a no DQ match, which okay, fine, whatever. It at least added something to this match other than it feeling like your regular Raw main event and all that. So I can't really complain at that because at least it's something different. Especially with LA Knight's interactions with everybody. And I mean, most of the story with all that was mainly Jay and LA Knight's interactions, with them kind of having back and forth with Jay almost taking out LA Knight. But yeah, the match ends up because Bron is able to hit a double spear, mind you, on the Usos, and a big old tsunami onto Jay for the win. 1, 2, 3, end of the match. The Bron's looking strong. Jay busted open. Jimmy laying just broken in half on the table that was broken as well, and LA Knight just being right there for another PLE. I mean, match was fine. I didn't hate it or anything. It's just, when you see, again, it's when you see or hear so many variations of the same match or a same song, it gets kind of tiring to the point where you just want to skip it. And that's kind of how I felt going into this. Yeah, Vash, what did you think of this?
He said it great. The WWE entrance of the Yeet Concert was amazing. LA Knight, I didn't know that this was going to be a no DQ. Guess what? It became a no DQ because LA Knight got himself in it. Just because Adam Pearce was speaking to one of the girls, I forgot who it was, and said, hey, we need somebody strong. Somebody that could provide his differences and has the issues with all these four gentlemen. And I came to the screen and said, hey, fuck the Brock. Jim is cool. Jay is I. And then guess what? LA Knight came to be the referee. That was fun. This match was a cool 20-minute match almost. It was a 17 and 26 minutes. And guess what, chat? This was the longest out of this main event that we usually get Raw for the past 2-3 months. Repetition that we have on almost every summer of a group of people versing each other for a good 3 months consistency. And guess what? This was probably one of the best ones, but also I do want to say best of recovery for Jay, because that ricochet of that chair shot must have hurt or given you a concussion or a bleed shot, whatever it was, because that looked like it hurt, because every night had to make sure yo, cold spear happened. 1, 2, 3. Boom, done. The match ended. So hopefully Jey Uso's good, and hopefully he didn't hurt himself any badly.
Yeah. Hopefully he's fine. I tried to see the moment that it happened, and I'm like,
it was a chair shot when he hit Bron Breakker with it, that it bounced back on a thing on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Or eye.
Yeah. It took me a hot minute to actually kind of see it. Because it was very quick, especially the angle that they kept showing it at. But
quick.
It took me a hot minute to be like, wait, what happened? Huh? I had to be like freaking Senor Chang from Community, be like, huh? What? I can't see it, even though that's not the joke that he was doing at that moment. But anyways, that's besides the point. The gift's gonna be a gifts drop. What do you think about your second favorite match of the night?
Yeah, this match did nothing for me. Because I get tired of talking about these group of characters every time on our coverage shows. Like, whenever we talk about Raw, it's always the same main event. And a lot of people even made a post about it online that I saw, where it's like, oh, you want to see something different? We'll just make LA Knight a special guest referee, and then you could just call it a Raw match. That's essentially what it was. It was just a Raw main event match. I can easily see this being a Raw main event match. Bunch of shenanigans that we see happen all the time. I'm just really hoping and I'm praying that I don't see more of this come Monday, because I don't really have any positive things to say out of this outside of hoping Jay's okay with what happened during the match itself. I mean, seeing the two guys, seeing the same people butt heads so many times, it just gets really annoying. It's just hard to watch over and over and over again, because I feel like I'm a broken record just repeating the exact same criticisms that I've said already about why this needs to change, why we don't need to keep doing this anymore. I mean, if anything, just focus on the Usos when it comes to their dynamic, Jay's new attitude versus Jimmy and how he feels about things. That's a more intriguing story than seeing these guys continuing to feud. Oh, look, the Brons have momentum now. What do you do with it after a successful match? You go towards the Judgment Day, or you go to Adam Pearce, whatever the case may be, and ask for a match, get those titles, look dominant, because I don't even see them as a part of the vision anymore because Seth just let the dogs loose.
He kind of did.
It honestly just seems like they're doing their own thing now, and it's just really Seth and Becky as the vision at this point. But it's like Seth's got gold, Becky's got gold. You guys need to get your gold. You don't need Paul Heyman to get that gold. Maybe he can help you get a match, whatever. That's fine. But it's like, just focus on something new. That's all I want to see is something new, something fresh. I mean, and I'm also, I understand when you're there in the crowd, it's fine to have the USO concert, but show us that when we're not watching it at home, because I get really I can't tolerate that shit anymore. Like, what I honestly wanted them to do, they could have still done the yeeting thing with the Usos theme, because this was a moment we had both of them together, and there was even parts during that song where they could have done the yeeting and everything. You didn't have to keep doing it over and over and over again. It's like, oh, let's run it back. Let's run it back. Like, God forbid that's like a new mechanic in the next 2K game where you have like the Uso concert.
Don't give him an answer. Don't give him a reason. Don't give him the idea. Because like, I'm gonna end up skipping that every time I see it, and I tend to actually watch a couple of the superstars come out. But if I had to see that over and over again, I'm not gonna like it. I need change moving forward. That's all I want out of this is just change. I can't say anything outside of what I've already said. You just need change. Use the momentum you have to be better. Get yourself some tag titles, some new feuds. Look dominant. We obviously know what the end goal is here with War Games. So as much as I hate to say I want to see it end, I don't even know if it is. But I don't have anything else. Like this match itself, I could easily walk away, make a thumbnail, maybe work on a new script for another video. I'd be fine. I would not be missing anything as of relevant with this match. This is again this is another instance of, hey, this could have been an email. Like that it's literally the definition of, oh, this match could have been an email. Boom, done. Thank you, ma'am. The one thing I do want to touch on really quick, I guess is this just the idea of like, I guess you're feeling, they don't even feel like part of the vision or anything. But I guess I kind of see it a little differently, where it's like, they still are. It's just like they kind of got their own side mission going on right now. So it's like, okay, they're taking care of some lower ranked people, whereas Seth and Becky are taking care of like some higher ranked people and all that. So it's like, I guess with Bleach, I guess I'll use that as an example. So it's like, okay, you have these captains worrying about, okay, who killed Aizen and all that stuff, like who did that, like who murdered one of our captains and all that. But like, you got that, but then you also got some of the people that are taking care of like the Ryoka problem, like, oh, why are there people coming into the Soul Society, like why are we doing all this, like, so you got like these different teams kind of taking care of different things, and yet they all still kind of come together as one big thing. And that's what you were kind of hitting on too, which I really like, is now they can maybe hopefully focus on true domination, get those tag titles off of the Judgment Day, who've only defended them once since June, July. Like, come on, like you're just getting into that same hole again. At least with Bron, they can be dominant on that brand with the tag team division. They can at least be doing something with them. At least it would give some sort of meaning to the tag titles. But that also involves more creative thinking than, hey, who do we push right now? What do we do? What's making us money? What's the marketable thing to do? Like, instead of thinking about that, maybe, I don't know, build for your future. But whatever, that guess that doesn't matter anymore. We just got to think of the now and how much money are we going to make now. What about our gates now? How are we going to make all that sweet cash now. Oh my god! And I guess like the best time, if any, to just go into our final thoughts with it. I mean, see, I feel like it's not that this show was terrible. I'm not gonna say that because I've seen some very terrible shows from top to bottom. Like at least there was some stuff that kept at least me entertained throughout the night, and mainly the mixed tag and the women's world title matches. Those at least kept me entertained. The Uso Bron match, it was what it was. At least for me, it was different enough to keep me, at least wanting to see how it all played out. But you have those three matches being of varying quality, just surrounded by absolute dog poo of an opener, and then a main event that felt very lackluster at best. At best. I'll say at best. Fuck it. Like, those two guys, Cody and Drew, are far better workers than they showed tonight. I'm really curious how things went out, and I'm also just surprised because earlier this year we got the Netflix debut, and you saw how much they put into that show, what they even gave us on that show. Like, that show was main evented by Seth and CM Punk's first match back. They had freaking Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa for the Ufalafa and all that. Like, we had some good moments, good like showcase matches and all that. And then like you look at this, which was being billed as the first PLE for the ESPN era of watching PLEs on it, and you kind of give us a crap show. Like, but no, it doesn't matter because you guys already made your money. Like, that doesn't matter at all. Like, this is just it's the usual just like pro wrestling grift where it's just like, oh yeah, here's your thing, and then you pay for the thing, and then it turns into absolute dog poo, and you're like, wait, I didn't pay for dog poo, I paid for a steak. Oh well, you didn't read the fine print. You get the steak for only 2 seconds. And it's just like, but I wanted to eat my steak. I wanted to take my time eating my steak. A steak is good. I like meat. And it's just like, oh no, you have to eat your poo because that's what you paid. It's just like, okay, no, I don't want to. Somebody save me. Save me, Vash. What do you think of the night?
I'm sorry, I cannot save you because this PLE. I saw two PLEs today. I saw one that was buffering for many reasons, as you could tell, Chad. If you're high on overseas and you guys have watching AW all out, and then you have your commentators keep sponsoring as well. Say, thank you guys for watching our first pay-per-view on HBO Max almost every fucking time of the match, which again, we get it. They're paid commentators. They're told what they're told. They're told by the script. They're told what type of notes they got to hit because it's paid by the membership, it's paid by the subscription, and it's all sponsored notes that they need to do, hit by the numbers. But big shout out to Daniel Bryan to actually hear him on commentary because he's fucking amazing. That's one thing I want to shout out to. The event, Pat McAfee is back. Michael Cole, like, yo, Pat McAfee is back. And I love that anybody pay attention in the small hearage that people say, Wade Barrett. Wade was shocked that Pat McAfee was back. He's like, hey, and Michael Cole poked a little joke at the internet saying, yeah, according to the internet, you also was fired. And Wade just laughing like, yeah, but look at me here, right? So I love how they break the fourth wall, knowing what the internet likes to gossip and all the dirt shit likes to get wrong on. And then they just talk about these things. Like he said, he requested this 8 months ago that he's on vacation. So nice to see this trio squad for half the show. And then later on, it gets split up back to 2-man squad. Overall, good PLE. Not a great one. Not a 9 out of 10. Not phenomenal. It was a solid 7.58 out of 10. Maybe I'm also give it out of 5. I'll give it a 2.8 out of 5. Not even a 3. It was just enjoyable. It was very solid, but that's the most that it could be. Out of this match, I care about the Stephanie Vaquer taking the W like I predicted and I asked for it and it happened as my Latino heat. But then the second was the AJ and CM Punk versus the Vision. The other 3 matches, one was a less than 10 in the match that I didn't give 2 flying fucks about. And the other 2 was part of the Vision. The other one was a tag team Vision that it should have been much better or have a what's the word? Not disqualification. Have a stipulation being involved. It would have been more entertaining. We have had these two with versus one of them versus two of them over the past couple weeks and months. We should have had stipulation, something more involved. Like Watkins said during that segment, we should have them go after the tag titles. Like Drop said, they should go after Judgment Day next sometime this week. Step to that forward. We need to move that on. Move the needle with the tag team divisions actually feeling relevant. We cannot have them feel like fodder. And then lastly, Cody, good luck to whatever's happening next with you and Seth. We're gonna speak about that next couple of weeks when it comes to Crown Jewel.
Yeah, and at least Crown Jewel's in Australia, so that'll be great. But Drop, what do you think of tonight's action and storyline progression and the 5-star classics that we got tonight?
Honestly, I'm happy it's over. I'm happy we can move on from it. The highlight for me is Io Sky, Stephanie Vaquer, perfect match, 5 out of 5 in my opinion. When it comes to that match itself, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch against Punk and AJ, that was a nice moment itself. Just seeing AJ return, having both of them come out with each other, having Punk wear her symbol on his gear, everything along the lines of that. Even that one move I saw them execute together earlier, the sliced bread move, is very nice when AJ landed on Becky. So just seeing them together as a whole was really nice, and I'm just hoping moving forward when it comes to John Cena's direction, hopefully there's other things in store, because he's not really scheduled for that much outside of PLEs moving forward, so he's not going to really have any TV show appearances. So I'm hoping they come up with some sort of plan for him. Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre, I expected more in terms of what is the big shebang towards the end. Didn't get it, but Cody has Seth. There's actual history there. You can revisit that. It's actually intriguing because I actually care about that feud. We actually are familiar with it. And there's a lot of stuff to look into moving forward. I feel like Crown Jewel is probably going to be a better PLE, and I'm looking forward to the coverage throughout the Monday and Friday shows leading up to the event itself. It should be good.
Yeah, and just think, everybody. Just think, chat. We don't have to say the word Wrestlepalooza for a whole another year after tonight. But just get it out of your system, you know. Wrestlepalooza, it was a thing. Wrestlepalooza, it was on ESPN. Wrestlepalooza, it was sponsored by Papa John's and Cricket and some other things that were on that mat. Yeah, and just remember, everybody, a lot of our thoughts and opinions are, you know, because again, the show just ended like an hour and a half ago ish, 2 hours. So keep in mind, a lot of these thoughts and opinions are very fresh. All these emotions are very fresh. You come here after these shows and you're going to hear our raw emotional reactions mainly to all this, good, bad, mediocre at best. Just remember, time can heal all wounds, and, you know, after certain things might come out, it might make a little bit more sense, or it might not. Maybe it'll just all break again when Lesnar just disappears until Royal Rumble season and he comes back. Because, hey, Royal Rumble paycheck is going to be right there for him. Yeah, that's basically it. I'm done. I'm done with Wrestlepalooza. I'm done with this night. I mean, there were 2 wrestling shows tonight, and I'm going to say it. AEW won. Like, hands down. Like, the only thing WWE could even compete with it is Io versus Stephanie Vaquer.
Agreed.
But, like, y'all got to do something better, man. Just do something more. Like, I used to praise you guys for taking your time between matches and all that, but now you guys are starting to kind of take too much time between your matches, and it just kind of leads to a show where it's just like, okay, can we get on now? Can we get to the next thing? Can we move on? Can we, like, get this show going and all that? Because, yeah, you're just kind of plodding along. And especially, again, for the first one on ESPN. Like, they kept praising it. They were so happy that they finally got on ESPN. And you gave us a show like this for the first one. I don't know. Just make it make sense. But you know what does make sense? following us on social media, because social media can be a lovely place filled with lovely, awesome opinions or just updates on life, and unfortunately, as much as I love being on social media and interacting with people, I kind of suck when it comes to like the plug aspect of all that, because sometimes I stumble on my words when it comes to all that, or I just don't know what to say and I start rambling like I am right now. But luckily, the legend himself, Vash, can tell you guys everywhere that you can find us. So go ahead, Vash, lay it on them a lot better than some of those moves we saw tonight.
Yo, chat, if you like what we did, we like what we represented. We are Weebs of the Ring. We are a production for wrestling content, pro wrestling. We talk about Raw and SmackDown every Mondays and Fridays. We have a pro wrestling news podcast that also give you the highlights of anything pro wrestling outside of the main company we do coverage for, which is the WWE. So if you want to talk about NXT, CMML, Lucha Libre, MJF versus mask person,
Banger.
Homelander, dress attire. If you want to see all this conversation, if you want to probably hear me and Walkers talk a bit about AWO, I'll check out this coming weekend. Just talk about this coming week for this Thursday at 8:30 p.m. EST for Grappling of the Week every Thursday show. So go check that out. Additionally, if you want more content outside of pro wrestling, go check out Animal Studio, the parent company, where we have Animal Leader Podcast comes out every 10 a.m. on YouTube and every 5 a.m. on the audio side. Go check that out. We are a conversational podcast that talks about topic and news. Where for this episode coming week, we will be talking about the Emmys of this 2025 and a few other news related and what we talk about for Weebs Lounge. Check out for Off the Bench every Mondays at 10 a.m. and 5 a.m. on the audio feed. Go check that out. That's our seasonal anime podcast. We're entering our week 12 and then we're about to jump into our fall season. Also check out Memory and Cage Twitch channel because we'll be live there for what we'll be watching for the fall season. So hopefully you guys enjoy all the plugs, and if you want to know more, down below is all the links for our Twitter handles and as well for our Discord links and everywhere else to find us down below.
Oh, yeah, down below, you can most certainly find this. So thank you once again for joining us for the Weebs of the Ring podcast. If you enjoyed what we had to say, please, again, make sure to follow us on all those social medias. Make sure to, like the video if we, gave you some entertainment, at least to kind of help process what happened tonight when it came to Wrestlepalooza, as they would have called it on South Park. And, of course, subscribe to the channel because we're almost close to being in the 3-digit category. So once you're able to do that, you can check us out on all those days that we go live for these shows. And yeah, just shout us out on social media too. Enjoy and engage, in the conversation using the hashtag Weebs of the Ring. That's also a great way to kind of give us some feedback because we're nothing without you guys tuning in, and we love to continue to be better than we were the previous day. Weebs of the Ring is presented by Animal Studio. Thanks, of course, to our production team for all of their hard work for making this show a reality. Thank you once again for joining us. And remember, as always, no stunt grannies were harmed in the recording of this podcast. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll see you on Monday night for Monday Night Raw.
Happy to Heat!